Austin, you're live with Eric and Dave.
Yeah, hi, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. What do you want to talk about today? Austin?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, thanks so much for taking my call. And, to the guest with the ALS, I'm really, so sorry to hear that. Obviously, terrible tragedy. And again, all I can just say is I'm so sorry to hear that. And as another human being, just let you know that I've had family members with that. So I understand that is very painful. And again, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
So my question to you guys, if we wouldn't mind here, I've been I'll see the show every once in a while on YouTube, and to let you know where I'm coming from, I am a believer, but just if you guys wouldn't mind, if we could just create like a baseline. So just so I understand for the conversation before I ask my couple questions, when you say, atheist, does that mean like you for sure know that there is no God, or does it just mean you're not convinced and you're open-minded, or how would you guys define atheist, just real quick?
Sure. Unless you wanted to hop in.
Yeah, atheists are mean, nasty, ugly people.
Thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. My view of that is simply no. I'm opposed to certainty of any kind and dogma. So what I would say about the word atheist, it simply means that I don't see enough evidence to convince me that there's a God involved with humanity at all. And I'm not saying I'm convinced there's no God. I'm saying I don't believe there's a God. Eric?
Yeah. So when I take a look at it, I parse it apart. So there's theist, which is someone who accepts a specific God claim, and that theism would be the religion, right? Atheist is the logical opposite of that. It's not accepting that claim.
Right.
So it actually doesn't say anything about what we do believe.
No, it doesn't.
It has everything.
It's not a statement of belief.
Right. It's just rejecting the assertion. Right. And the reason we reject the assertion is because we haven't had good evidence brought up. So, no, I'm a skeptic. I'm
Show me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very, very unlikely to say that I have absolute certainty in anything. And because of that, it definitely follows with the deist, or the theist claim. The difference is, I don't go around saying I'm an Bigfootist or an Martianist or an conspiracy. Do you get what I'm saying, Austin?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I get it.
Because I reject all of those claims too. But you're talking to people who live in Austin, Texas, the state capital of one state that is constantly pushing out incredibly restrictive laws that make life really difficult.
In Tennessee, where I'm from.
That's right.
Same thing.
And so...
Sure.
That's why we speak up.
Exactly. And that's why the atheist label is an important one to use. Does that help? I kind of gave you a lot there.
Yeah. No, that certainly helps. And I guess just one last question on the baseline here before I get in. So would you say then, then the idea is that, going from like the Big Bang all the way to like today, would you say then your understanding, your belief, or what you hold true is that I don't know the right language. This might not be the exact right word, but in essence, it would be random how it all got here. There's no intelligence behind what's happened. The unlikelihood of us being here came about randomly. Is that fair to say?
For me, not quite. Because random, at least the way I understand it, could mean anything, right? So I live in an apartment, and I can jump off my balcony 1,000 times. And out of that 1,000 times, there's never going to be a time where I fly like Neo. I'm going to hit the ground.
Sure.
Because I live in a universe where gravity is a thing. And so the options are limited. It's not absolutely random what's going to happen when I jump out of the window. I'm subject to the physics, and the what this reality is. So I wouldn't say that it's random.
Sorry to cut.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. But not to cut you off, but there's no conscience that's guiding what is happening. I mean,
intelligent
there's nothing
designer
behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no.
Yeah, I haven't seen any.
No, I don't see any evidence to support that.
What Dave said.
Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, it's not random. It's not like, hey, if you jump off a building, half the time you can fly, and the other half, like you fall. So I understand there. I meant more like, again, there's no conscience, behind what's happening. In essence, yes, there's laws that we have to live by, but there's nothing, guiding those laws that's a conscious above it. Is my understanding. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I'm curious to ask you. Do you think differently?
Yeah, I certainly do, and I'm happy, definitely to go into it. And I just wanted to create that baseline. And I guess here's my question, and I'll certainly go into what I believe. But with that baseline established, what I wanted now to ask is, so like, can you tell me, what took place in order for you to be born? And I mean, like, scientifically, do you understand? I mean, obviously you understand the sperm and the egg and all of that. But
yeah, I don't want to have the birds and the bees talk.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, just to give you an idea, and I won't go too into depth here, but, a fertile woman, she's got 100,000 viable eggs on average in her life. A man produces 12 trillion sperm in their lifetime. So the chances of the one sperm with your name on it hitting the one egg of the other half of your name on it, just so you guys know, I mean, I wrote it out here, it's 1 in 400 quadrillion chance, just your parents. That's just your parents. If you want to also think about the fact that, let's say, human beings have been alive for 3 million years, and that's somewhere around 150,000 generations, if you want to count a generation as 20 people. So what you got to then do is take
20 years, you mean?
Again, you take 400 quadrillion to the power of 150,000. I mean, you have numbers that can't even be measured.
So, can I jump in
real quick?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just finish? I'll be like 2 sentences, and then I'll be done.
All right, good.
And then I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, and then you also have to factor that, like, your great-great-great-great-grandma had to marry your great. And I mean, if you take about the impossibility of that happening, basically what ends up happening is you have a number that is more unlike, if you take all the particles in the universe, and I said, all right, you got to pick one, that's the same chances of you actually being born.
Okay.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're saying that the odds are pretty slim.
I'm saying way more than that.
Okay,
it's not pretty
so
slim. It's
gotcha.
impossible.
All right, now, so you said you're a believer.
Correct.
In which God?
I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
The God of the Bible.
He's the creator of the universe.
The God of the Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Since the odds of us even being here are that remote, you're therefore assuming that the God that you happen to believe in is the one that made all that happen.
Correct. Yep.
Why would you jump to that assumption?
Well, can I just ask real quick? Would you say though that the chances of that happening being random is zero?
No, actually, it's 100%, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
no. So
realize
no. What you're doing is,
but I mean,
it's called a post hoc rationalization.
It's absolutely that.
And I can walk you through it, right?
Okay, sure.
So I can roll dice 1,000 times, and I can count exactly how it rolled every time, and I can give you a massive number. What are the odds that it went exactly that way? Right? I mean, we're talking about 1 in a billion chances every single day that happen to everybody. Mm-hmm. And even, I mean, I can extrapolate that to the living population. So if we live in, hold on a second, if we live in a planet with 7 billion people, right? I took this from a Tim Minchin song, which I absolutely adore. But the idea is, somebody says, oh, you're 1 in a million. Well, if I'm 1 in a million, that means there are 7,000 people exactly like me. Mm-hmm. Right? If there are 1 in a billion opportunities happening, that means that it happens 7 times today because there are 7 billion people. I mean, when you talk about really, really big numbers, if you're talking about it after the fact, all you're doing is rationalizing what you think seems unlikely, when in fact, it was 100% because it happened. We're just rationalizing it afterward.
Right.
Yeah. But we're not talking about like million and billion here. We're talking about numbers that can't even be
Who
fathomed.
cares?
It doesn't matter the number. The point is still the same. And to jump to the conclusion that the God that you believe in made it happen is just irrational.
Well, again, the odds of it happening is basically taking 2.5 million.
No, it's 100%. You're taking a look at what exists and then extrapolating with the possibility from that behind.
But I think
it's post hoc.
I mean, that's an argument out, but I'm just trying to bring it to the heart rather than like the argument.
Okay.
And the heart of the matter is it's such an unbelievably unrealistic possibility.
But it happened.
But listen, real quick. But the fact that it took place, it's either the most random thing of all time, and you're basically saying that you woke up every day and won the lottery every day for your entire life and it was random?
No.
Or is there a possibility? Yeah, okay, so that just seems totally irrational. That to me seems more irrational.
Okay.
That then there's a creator who initiated everything.
Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Stop. Right there, stop. Okay.
Woo!
Yeah, no, hard brakes. Hold on. So if there was a creator, if there was a creator, then you'd have exactly the same problem, except then you'd have to justify a creator on top of it. So how the hell does that make things easier?
No, it makes it way easier because the creator lives outside of space and time.
So how can a creator... Hold on. If something lives outside of space and time, what does that even mean? Now that's word salad. Can something be outside of space? Is that even feasible? Is that possible?
Well,
is there anything outside of the universe? I don't know if there's an outside to be. It's the universe.
Well, then how would the universe be created to begin with?
Got it. Now that is a good question, Austin. And the right answer is I don't know. And I dare you.
Neither do you.
That's right. Neither do you. And I dare you to have the hubris to say that you know otherwise. I dare you.
But tell me how it's possible. Tell me how it's possible.
So I'm not leaping to conclusions. I'm responding to yours. So how are you coming to that conclusion?
But and I'll tell you, because I don't understand how it would even be a possibility for the Big Bang, let's say, to happen if it wasn't initiated by something greater than it. How is it, like, you say you don't know, but how is it even feasible that it wouldn't be that?
Right, that's a fallacy again. No, that is fallacious reasoning.
You're making a bunch of assumptions.
Yeah, the fallacy there is the argument from personal incredulity. It's the argument from personal incredulity. I can't think of any other way, therefore X. But give
me your example.
That's what you just said. I told you the example and the correct answer is I don't fucking know.
You started with the incredible odds that we're even here, and then you jumped to the assumption that the God that you believe in is the one that made that happen. You don't get to do that.
Correct.
That's not how that works. It doesn't matter that's what you've always believed, or you think there's some kind of scripture that gives you that support. That's not how this works. You don't get to just say that because this is what I believe and we can't explain something, and how did something happen, therefore God. That's not how this works.
Well, I laid out the case for the impossibility. I mean, if you
yes, you have several times,
which is fine. Well, real quick, if you guys want to believe that it's a one in number that literally cannot be counted, that you got here and it was random and there was no God, that to me is a bigger leap of faith.
What you just did, Austin, what you just did is wait your turn to talk. Because we answered that and we told you, no, that's not what we think. And for you to insert that assumption means that you weren't listening.
What do you believe
so
then?
tell me, hold on, Austin, tell me why I should keep you on the line if you are not conversing and you're just waiting for your turn to talk.
Okay, what would you like me to answer? I'll answer. You guys have answered, and I appreciate it. You can ask me whatever you'd like me to answer.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So what was our answer to that question? You said...
You don't know.
Yes, absolutely. I also said that it's incredibly hubristic to say that you do. You need to actually provide evidence other than an argument from personal incredulity, because that gets you nowhere. Why would you say that? Like, I'm kind of sitting here wondering, why the hell would you say you believe everything when we just went through this whole thing so we could demonstrate that that's not the case? It hurts in here.
You've hurt his heart.
Because I'm listening to you and I'm wanting to engage, but it really did. That kind of really felt like a slap in the face that you weren't listening. You know what I mean?
Okay. Tell me what would you like me to answer? Because you guys have been great answering the questions, and I appreciate the back and forth. And I don't know a lot about atheism. I really don't. So I'm trying to get to the heart of what the atheist would believe. And I know there's differences. And so what can I answer for you? Please tell me.
You're talking to two ex-Christians.
Why do I believe that the God of the Bible created the universe?
I mean,
you came in with the assumption that because the odds of us even being here are so remote, that your God, the God of the Bible, the Christian God that, by the way, Eric and I both used to believe in, you're asserting that was the only reasonable explanation for how we're here. That's not something that we find credible whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would
Dave asked, how'd you come to that conclusion?
Had to come to what conclusion?
Sure.
That God got us there.
Right.
Well, okay. So you guys asked me what I believe, and I told you that I believe, that in the Christian God. I'm not saying that the other belief systems aren't credible. I was asking about, the impossibility of us being here. I just didn't think it would be possible with atheism. That's my personal belief. Now, if you're asking me, why do I believe in the God of the Bible? And I'll say it this way. I'll say because I believe, that Jesus Christ historically rose from the dead. Now, there are questions. Let me just finish, and I won't take up a lot of time here. There are questions of the history of Jesus. Was he alive? Was he not alive? Overwhelming scholars believe that he was a real person, lived in the Middle East, all those sorts of things. You can read a guy like Bart Ehrman, who's not a Christian in any way. You guys may be familiar with him. He believes in the history of Jesus Christ. That's not really much debated. Now the question becomes... I like that you set up this... No, hold on. I like that you set up this. This isn't up for debate, and this is what everybody believes. Therefore, and you're kind of launching off that pad. Well, I'm just trying to give you what I believe, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Finish what you believe.
Finish. I just wanted to point that out.
Why you believe the God of the Bible is the only one.
Yeah.
Sure. So the reason why I believe it is because just like, I wasn't alive. I don't know how old you guys are, but I wasn't alive during World War II. I can't say for sure if it was there, but historically, I know that because of the evidence, that World War II happened. And that deny World War II would be something that would be obviously foolish to do. So what I think is, what is the most important thing for the rational mind? It's to figure out, first of all, did Jesus Christ exist? Okay. And then if he did exist, did he rise from the dead? And if he rose from the dead, then we have to take him more seriously than any person we've ever taken in the history of mankind. And the reason why I believe rationally he rose from the dead...
Don't use the rational as a word, dude.
Okay, fine. I won't use it.
Please.
But then historically, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Historically, I believe that he rose from the dead physically, because the question is, where is the body? The body of Christ has never been uncovered.
This is amazing.
Holy crap.
If you think about it real quick, and then I'll be done. If the small religion, Christianity, could have been snuffed out in a second by the Romans, because after Christ was buried and put in a tomb, if his followers came in and somehow overtook the Roman guards and stole the body and then buried it somewhere...
We've never heard any of this before.
Yeah, we've heard this a lot.
Let me ask you, I bet you've been reading Lee Strobel.
Where's the body? No, I'm just saying, where is the body?
Okay.
I honestly have not read anything from Lee Strobel.
I
promise you.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Let's break this down a little bit, okay? I know people are saying, oh my gosh, why is this call going? Because I've heard this argument so many times. That I'm hoping that us talking about this will help set the record straight in a couple places, okay? So that's why we're doing this. That's why we're staying on this call. Austin, do you generally assert things until they're proven wrong? Do you generally do that as a rule? Right? No, I'm going to go with the existence of Bigfoot until you prove it wrong.
No, I do not.
Okay, so why are you doing that here?
Because I don't believe in Buddhism. I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Zoroastrianism.
I didn't ask you what you believe about any other religions.
So you're an atheist too?
I'm an atheist for everything except Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we just believe in one less God than you.
Yes.
Correct. Yes, you do.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
So again, why are you doing this for the character of Jesus?
Well, you asked me because if everything I asserted I believe, I would. There's a faith in here in the Chicagoland area called the Baha'i faith, where they believe in all religions, and you see the coexist. If that would be if I believe what I asserted, but I have searched out other religions in the fact that, and I believe Christianity has proven itself. Because the other thing too, if you guys, again, we can go into a lot of different things here, but the resurrection from the dead is the most important thing.
Well, I think that your assertion that there's evidence for that is fallacious to begin with. There's no evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ's body. There are no historians that lived current with Jesus that would talk about that, and that fact alone completely destroys the credibility of it. And a bunch of guys writing 70, 80 years later doesn't make it any more valid. Right. Okay. So it's pretty much you've read some material that you think.
I haven't read any material, guys. I promise you, I'm not read any material.
Then where'd you get your information about the resurrection of Jesus? Did you go over there and look for the body yourself and couldn't find it, or I don't understand?
Well, because just guys, think about this. Think about how huge and powerful the Roman Empire was.
Oh, okay. Yes, the Roman Empire was incredibly benefited by bringing in Christianity. It was
right as Christianity grew.
Post hoc rationalization. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're agreeing. Okay, so let's break it. Let's hold on a second, Austin. I've followed you. Now I need you to follow me here a little bit. Okay.
Go ahead. Sure,
okay.
Go ahead.
So. Do we know who wrote the Gospels? Was it Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
I can't say yes or no to that. I don't know the answer to that.
The answer is no.
Okay.
So, number one, the accounts are from unknown authors. Okay, so let's continue from there. You talked about a resurrection. Did you know that there are people who have claimed to resurrect in the last 20 years?
Where's the evidence of it?
That's exactly right.
And I would accept, and I would hope that you would want the same evidence for that than you would for Jesus. But because we don't have that evidence for either, we throw out both. But there's more. There's more.
Okay.
So we talked about the Romans. We've brought up seeing and what we would accept for a resurrection, right? Next, it would be, let's see, argument from personal incredulity. No, we already brought that one up.
We covered a ball.
Did we?
It's not about... I'm not trying to justify Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John. I'm just talking about as World War II historically happened.
Okay.
Jesus Christ historically rise from the dead. That's
right.
The only
how much evidence do you have?
Yeah.
How much evidence do we have for World War II, and how much evidence do we have for a deity Christ figure? Because I don't give a shit about some dude named Yeshua in 2,000 years ago. Right?
Nor do I.
Yeah, exactly. It only matters if he had powers or if he's the son of God or whatever the case is, a demigod.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Correct. What evidence do we have for that? What evidence?
This is, again, if I were to go back to the resurrection, guys, if Christianity has persevered throughout the generations, because as Christianity grew, to your point earlier, yes, it became beneficial to the Roman army. You're absolutely right about that. But in its infancy, it was no benefit to the army because it was to the Roman Empire because it was a threat to them. So what they would have done is found all of the followers, found the body that was stolen from the tomb, and they would have paraded Jesus's body around and said he actually did not rise from the dead.
And at that point, people would say that is or isn't Christ. I mean, people say that shit about Elvis.
Yeah.
So
they saw Elvis at a Burger King in Minneapops last week.
What are you talking about? Wait, hang on. They say that about Elvis?
Yeah.
What are you
people have seen
about?
Elvis.
And people claim that Elvis isn't dead, that the body that was buried wasn't that of Elvis.
All kinds of evidence.
JFK.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the evidence? Yeah, but have you seen that? I've never seen a body being carried around of Elvis.
And who's seen Jesus?
Yeah, you're right now. You're saying that it's more likely that body got up on its own, showed himself to 500 people, had doubting Thomas check the wounds, and then there was a zombie invasion. I mean, that is more likely. Austin, we don't have evidence for any of that shit. But I think I'm going to cap out.
You keep saying that this evidence doesn't make it evidence. That's the problem here.
It's just an assertion. And so, hold on.
You're right.
Hold on, Austin. Not just that. I'm capped out on fallacious stuff for this call, though, because you said standing the test of time. Standing the test of time does not make something true, because if that were the case, I could bury the Book of Eric in 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years from now, if they pull it up, would it be more true what I wrote in it just because it's old?
I think the Book of Dave has a better ring to it.
I like the Book of Dave. That sounds good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, standing the test of time?
Austin and Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, standing the test of time does not get you to reliable truths about the world.
You're right. It's not the only thing, but it's one factor.
No, it is
with many other things.
The Muslim faith is older than Christianity.
No.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
That's okay.
That's incorrect, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Guys.
No, it's all good. But Hammurabi and other faiths, but regardless, just going back to this, right? Just going back to this, saying that something has stood the test of time is shit reasoning. I think could we agree together that something standing the test of time does never gets you to true? It's just that it's old.
It doesn't necessarily get you the truth, but the truth is the oldest thing, and the truth in and of itself is tested time.
Hold on. You said the truth is the hold on. You said truth is the old. I'm not understanding you. You said truth is the oldest thing.
Well, he's asserting that he's got the truth.
No.
I don't understand.
Guys, listen. All right, I'll explain it. The fact that it's persevered under the test of time and under intense scrutiny, and the fact that Judaism is the oldest religion. I mean, I know there's random religions that have been around a little bit longer that are
you a Jew?
That are infinitely small. Christianity is an extension of Judaism.
No, Christianity is the co-opting of Judaism.
It's the correction of Judaism.
Because and I can actually point to where you still agree with that. Do we still follow Levitical law?
Finished. Yeah, I
Mosaic law.
Finished. I haven't finished. Let me get my points out, and then because I feel like I'm making a point, and then we're never getting back to the original thing.
Well,
okay. So I'm just saying. I want to answer your question about the something standing the test of time. That was the question, and now we're talking about like Mosaic law. Let me just answer this question first, okay? Sure. So you asked again about something standing the test of time. That's a crap reason you said.
Yes.
Again, it's not the only reason why something can be true is only if it stands the test of time. That's not the only reason, but it is a significant evidence.
No,
that
not evidence.
Potentially, that it should be considered. How about that? That it should be, the fact that it's persevered through the test of time and under intense scrutiny is at least a reason to consider it to be a real. Can you at least grant me that? I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying at least for consideration.
So do you know what the definition of a fallacy is? I am answering this, by the way. I'm not trying to skew you off here. Do you know what
you guys have said it like 7 times throughout this call. Like that's
do you know what that is?
Something that's false?
No.
I mean,
no.
Something that's false a false beginning, and I don't know.
No,
I mean, go ahead.
That's perfect. I feel like that's actually kind of at the crux of why we might be talking past each other. So I think I can help us here, Austin.
All right, cool.
So do you watch Talk Heathen? You can say no.
I've seen it on YouTube a couple times.
Cool. Okay. So one of the things that I talk about on this show is epistemology, right? Your epistemic toolbox is what you reach into when you're thinking about any certain thing, right? How you understand it to be true, you're reaching into your epistemic toolbox, and you're pulling out those things that you understand work when you're determining whether or not something is true or false, right? We all have it. We just have different tools in that toolbox. And when I say something is fallacious or is a fallacy, it's actually not a good tool. I'm not saying it's false. I'm just saying it's not a good tool. So let me give you an example. Let's say, Austin, you wrote down that Dave had donuts this morning. You've never met Dave. You don't know Dave.
Right.
You have zero way of being able to tell what he did, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so saying, that it was written down, that is actually not evidence towards him eating donuts. But in fact, Dave ate donuts this morning. And so it happens to be true, but it is not necessarily true. It is just not even, it just doesn't fit. And so when you're saying that something stands the test of time, what I'm saying is that is epistemically, right, as far as a tool is concerned, is a tool that you need to throw out because it doesn't reliably get you to truth. It just might get you to, circumstantially, possibly,
It's coincidentally true.
Coincidentally, thank you. That's the word.
Coincidentally true.
And so, what I'm saying is,
a really good point. Can I just jump in real quick? That's why I don't believe in like Islam, because I don't only use I don't know if you guys are hearing me here. I don't only use the test of time as the only indicator of what is true. Otherwise, I believe multiple religions. I'm just saying it is one thing that we should that Christianity should be considered because it has stood the test of time. It is not the only evidence for Christianity being true.
Okay.
I would be a
Austin,
Muslim otherwise.
I understand that. And I know that we're way, way into this call, so we are going to end it soon. But what I do want to say is I think if we went through argument by argument, you would find that we can point out why there may be an epistemic problem in many of these arguments. And so if it's shit, then the aggregate of shit is still shit. It's
agree.
just a pile of shit. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it more likely. It's just more volume of shit. And so what I'm saying is this is shit. This is a shit argument. It doesn't help. It shouldn't be given in conjunction to, it just is shit. Throw it out. And I'm not saying this just about religion. I'm saying in general, your life will be better if you're looking for how to understand something is true or not true. If you take that tool out of your toolbox, it's not a good tool.
I'm not saying
it as a friend.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's. Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. And guys,
well, we appreciate the call. Just bear in mind that Eric and I both have been on that side of the fence, and we know we've heard all these arguments, we've heard all this stuff, and we just don't find the argument that you're making for the Christian God to be compelling at all.
Shoot me an email, mail@talkheathen.com, and I'd actually like to pick up with you after the show, maybe sometime this week.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but
No worries.
I'll maybe throw it up on YouTube and I'll follow back up. But seriously, guys,
it's at the
thank
bottom
you
of
so
the
much for
screen.
your time. I
Thank you.
genuinely appreciate it. Thanks for your words, and best of luck to both you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care, brother. I know. I really enjoyed it, though. I really enjoyed it, and
my patience level isn't what yours is.
Well, you got less time.
See, you're catching on, man.
Dude, I know. I got you. You know what people are going to say? I'm a cold
hard atheist.
Right? Who do you want to take next?
What was that one on morality?
Let's go with Valerie in Pennsylvania. That's the morality. Valerie.
No, there was another one.
You're talking to Eric.